All right, the Detroit Lions are to interview three more GM candidates. Former Atlanta Falcons just this year before he'd been fired. GM Thomas Dimitroff, Scott Pioli, former Kansas City and New England Patriot front office person, but he was the GM for the Kansas City from 2009 to 2012. And then also Terry Fontenot. He is the Vice President and Assistant GM for the New Orleans Saints. So let's talk about it. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist for more videos like this. And I had no issue with neither one of them, but some people might. Both Dimitroff and Scott Pioli got their shots with the New England Patriots. They had some type of affiliation. Dimitroff won two championships with the Patriots in their front office. Scott Pioli, I'm pretty sure he probably got a championship with them as well too. Pioli works on the NFL Network, CBS affiliate as well too. Well, it's a CBS affiliate. But Dimitroff, out of the two, I'd probably say Dimitroff had the better drafting, but he had the more opportunities to draft. He'd been with the Falcons since, I forget what it said. It's been there for a while since they drafted Matt Ryan in 2010. So he drafted Matt Ryan. He drafted Julio Jones, Sean Witherspoon. I think he ended up getting a season-ending or career-ending injury. Sean Jones, the linebacker. He drafted a lot of guys while being in Atlanta. Jake Matthews. He drafted some linemen. So you got more of a serving size with him just being the sole runner of the personnel for the Atlanta Falcons versus Scott Pioli, which he's really never got more than a few seasons to run the franchise. He came up through the New England, system, but he drafted, I think, Justin Houston, Tom Bali. I could be wrong. He drafted a few guys over there. I think Dexter McCluster, Justin Houston. But obviously he didn't stay over there. But I have no issue with either one of them. I'd probably say no to Scott Pioli. He's just not enough serving size as far as experience. He had a few years. He drafted Dexter McCluster and a few other guys there. But Dimitroff, most people say no based on what they did in Atlanta. But he made it to the Super Bowl. Everybody keeps saying Super Bowl is the barometer. He made it to the Super Bowl, and he would have won it if they didn't choke in the Super Bowl. And ironically, last year, Kyle Shanahan, who was the offensive coordinator of the year, Atlanta was there, he choked the lead away to the Super Bowl. But I don't think people give him too much grief because Kansas City consistently in last year's playoffs came back from deficits and beat teams. All right, and with Dimitroff, I had no issue with him. He got a solid draft resume. I mean, it's no better than everybody else we spoke on. It's no worse. It's a lot of years where, he didn't draft anybody that I really recognized, but he knew to take Julio, he knew to take Jake Matthews, he knew to take Matt Ryan, which most people think Atlanta should have been moved on from Matt Ryan. They never accepted him because of what happened to Michael Vick. It's somebody else he drafted kind of late that turned out pretty good. So, Atlanta Falcons ain't really been the organization for success, but I don't think he a horrible candidate. I mean, you live and you learn. Arthur Blank was a way better owner and a more willing owner than the Force we had in the past. So he already had a great owner that was willing to spend anything to win. They got a new Mercedes-Benz Dome. They got that. So, Dimitroff, it would be a drop-off coming to Detroit as far as organization and ownership, but I think Sheila's ready to be on Arthur Blank's Jerry Jones level to do anything to win the championship. So, Dimitroff, he ain't terrible. He sat there for 10 years. His mistake was Dan Quinn. Did he miss some draft picks? Absolutely. But then again, the Falcons' downfall was having Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was the biggest downfall to them. In many years where they could have made it to the Super Bowl, I think it might have been they played the 49ers in the NFC Championship game, and Matt Ryan couldn't get the touchdown for them to win the game. A lot of times it was just Matt Ryan being a downfall of them, man, and that's just my opinion about the Atlanta Falcons. I just think they could have put a better defense on the field. He had Takk McKinley, who found his way out of the Detroit Lions. Out of the Atlanta Falcons, and just been a problem child out of USC. But I think he drafted Vic Beasley, if I'm not mistaken. Just that if they had Peyton Manning or Tom Brady there, Atlanta probably had multiple Super Bowls, and maybe Thomas Dimitroff would be there. But Dan Quinn, he did make it to the Super Bowl with them, and I don't think Dimitroff would bring Dan Quinn to Detroit. But He got to start with New England too, you know. So not high on him, but I'm not super mad if they do get him. And Scott Pioli, NFL Network, CBS Sports, worked there. I mean, it's not enough of a serving size what he did in New England. He was there from 9, 10, 11, 12, 4 seasons, but he drafted some good players. He found Justin Houston in the second, third round. Des McCluster in the second round. He found some guys there, but you know, Tyson Jackson, I think out of LSU, he found him a defensive lineman. But you just, you know, he had one shot. Then why ain't nobody else calling him? See, Lewis really got an interview. The Giants maybe interview him if they get rid of Dave Gettleman. So there's some interest there. You know what I'm saying? Rick Smith, he might get another interview. But when you look at Scott Pioli, ain't nobody asking to interview Scott Pioli. His mama probably not asking to interview him. And I say that jokingly. So, I mean, he built himself through New England. Kansas City didn't do a bad job. But then again, he ended up getting fired there. Maybe Scott Pioli is supposed to be a bridge between bringing the Eric Bieniemy here. And maybe that's what Bieniemy want. But to be honest, with those two candidates, they're not really high on my list. You know, Thomas Dimitroff, he's solid. You know, I think he can identify talent. It's just that Matt Ryan just never got over the hump. But he did enough to garnish a big contract, in my opinion. And Scott Pioli, you know, I'm kind of worried anybody come from New England anymore, because New England historically doesn't draft well. But nobody really draft terrible from what we've seen from Rick Smith, the dude from New York, from the Giants. I mean, all of them, they got experience. So maybe they just doing their due diligence. But out of all of them, I really don't like any of the internal candidates, and I don't like Scott Pioli. I don't. I just don't think he the man for the job. You know, he could just stay on NFL Network and get them checks. I just not really high on him at all. What's the other dude that's on NFL Network too? The dude that used to run the Jets. He just seemed like a real idiot. Not him either. I can't forget his name. Is it Mike Tannenbaum? Terrible. If that's him, man. But Terry Fontenot, can't pronounce his last name. It was a lot of different pronunciations. He's the assistant general manager and vice president for the New Orleans Saints. And the New Orleans Saints website got a ton of information. If you want to know about him, he's a brother. He's bald head like Rick Smith. Another dude from the Giants, I can't remember his name. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy that's been brought up in an organization that historically draft well, historically develop guys well. So I wouldn't be mad at giving him an opportunity. He been an assistant GM, you know, he evaluated talent, he handles waiver wire free agencies. So, you know, he's from an organization that draft well, but then again, the last time the Detroit Lions picked the apple or orange off the Saints tree, Joe Lombardi had no idea how to run an offense in Detroit, and he basically said that Matthew Stafford wasn't smart enough to run his offense, and I remember that kind of being his way out, and then Jim Bob Cooter taking over. But you know, Terry, you know, I'm not mad if they give him a chance. If he can do what they did in New Orleans and evaluate talent, they got a system on how to draft players, how to identify players. They've done a tremendous job in the draft. Michael Thomas, second round, third or fourth round. Albert Kamara, they've done well in the late first round with Davenport. I mean, Cameron Jordan. I mean, just look at their team. Taysom Hill's been able to contribute and do well. They've been able to go get backup quarterbacks like Jameis Winston. They got Jared Cook. You know, they went out and traded for Emmanuel Sanders. They got him in free agency, 1 of the 2. They got some receivers that's done well. They got good cornerbacks. Marshawn Lattimore was a corner that came and contributed early on. This done a tremendous job as far as getting people over there. They got Janoris Jenkins when they got rid of him in the New York Giants because he won't apologize for calling a fan retarded on social media. So I wouldn't be mad. I'd rather have that Terry kid than over those two guys. But maybe him and Thomas Dimitroff could be right here. But I think Dimitroff will get another chance in the NFL. And the question is, does he want to jump right back in and do this all over again? Or would he rather just take some time off, enjoy his kids, and then jump back in the game? But opportunities may be slim and none in the future. But I'd rather have to do it for New Orleans than Dimitroff, and I don't want Scott Pioli at all. Just my opinion on it. I think the dude from New Orleans Saints is ready to rock and roll, enough experience, and but then again, they want a guy with experience. But maybe Terry Fontenot can come in and blow them away in an interview. So let me know what you guys think about the 3 candidates the Lions are going to interview soon if they haven't. Don't forget to check out our Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out anytime if you want a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, or just want to chop it up and advertise your business on the channel. Social media links there. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link in the description as well. Best way to donate is share the video. Appreciate the love and support. Let me know what you guys think about the 3 candidates, Scott Pioli, Thomas Dimitroff, and Terry Fontenot, who they will be interviewing for the Detroit Lions vacant GM job. Appreciate the love and support. One time for one time. CJ Goodfellow, Motor City Sports Talk. We gone.